Okay, I think.
All right, I think we're back. Are we back?
Mine says off air. I don't know.
Can you guys see me?
You're frozen, and I'm frozen.
See, I can see you.
Am I moving?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm. You and I are not moving, and I don't see Emily.
I can see you both.
Just let's see if everyone can restart. Let's see if it gets back on. Are we back?
They're saying back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. Okay, looks like everyone's back on. Okay. Can you see everybody now? Well, this is just a game of technology tonight. We're trying to get these kinks worked out. All right. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with this. With when I pull up the webinar, but something seems to throw it off here a little bit. But I'm going to try it again. You guys tell me if it doesn't work again, and we'll keep plugging through this. But I apologize for the problems that we're dealing with tonight. It usually doesn't happen. We've done this a handful of times, and it seems to work okay. But like I said, tonight it's not agreeing with us. So I'm going to get going again. Okay, looks like we're good. So I'm going to pull up the screen share. You know, if it doesn't work this time around, we might need to reschedule some other time. But like I said, hopefully this will stick with us throughout this time. Okay. Can you see the screen now? Can you see the top 5 food sensitivities? Yeah? All right, guys. All right, we'll keep going. We got a long ways to go. This is going to be a late night. So, all right, top 5 food sensitivities. I'm going to speed up here just to see if we can keep this going. Top 5 food sensitivities include gluten, wheat in particular. Dairy is right behind that, and like I said, dairy is so common that people, I think, they emphasize the importance of dairy as being a food sensitivity. Eggs, soy, and then yeast. Now, food sensitivities have been linked with multiple health problems, and those include anxiety and depression. Headaches is very common. Allergic rhinitis. If you have, chronic allergies, chronic sinusitis, a lot of times that's a food sensitivity. Thyroid problems, asthma, joint pain, irritable bowel, PMS. But it also really causes an inability to lose weight because what happens is you have an inflammatory reaction, and that inflammatory reaction tells your body, okay, it's not time to lose weight. We've got to hold on to some fat for now. So that is a very common thing that I see is an inability to lose weight with food sensitivities. The next thing here is insulin resistance. Now, with insulin resistance, it's an unbalanced ratio of carbohydrates and protein that can lead to this insulin resistance. And I'll try to explain this in a somewhat sensible fashion, but the way that I look at this is based on this diagram here, and the arrow is kind of the bloodstream, and then these 2 circles below are kind of muscle cells. But what happens is when we have blood sugar, and that's those yellow dots, when we have blood sugar increase in our blood, then that goes and that tells the pancreas to start producing some insulin. And that insulin is that key here. And that key is the lock. That key goes to the lock, which is the receptor on the cell, and opens up the cell to allow blood sugar to get inside of the cell. But what happens is when we have a lot of blood sugar, then our pancreas is producing a lot of insulin. And so we get all these keys coming to this one cell. And the cell's like, whoa, someone's trying to break in here. We need to get rid of this lock. And so what happens, you don't get a lot of blood sugar inside the cell. Most of it starts floating around, just sticking around in the blood. And what happens, and that's, you don't want that. You don't want a lot of blood sugar. You don't want a lot of high blood sugar. And the best way to test that is to do either a fasting insulin, that's a good way to test that, or to do a hemoglobin A1C, which tells it your amount of blood sugar over 3 months. But to control blood sugar, you have to balance the amount of protein to carbohydrates. Because what happens with carbohydrates, especially the simple carbohydrates, those stimulate insulin. And what protein does, that stimulates glucagon, which is the counter-regulatory hormone to insulin. So you want to decrease the amount of starchy carbohydrates while increasing the amount of lean protein. The third thing here is toxins. So anything that is not natural, I generally consider to be a toxin. Common toxins include, you probably have heard of these, you've seen these on the news, BPA, POPs, persistent organic pollutants, and glyphosate, otherwise known as Roundup. But you might not have known these things I also consider to be toxins. And those include artificial sweeteners, artificial flavoring, artificial dyes, and preservatives. And toxins contribute to weight gain by interfering with thyroid and hormonal function. So, there's been tons of studies on the effect of these toxins on thyroid function, and it really seems to shut these down, and it can, in some ways, actually blocks the thyroid from working on the receptor. Besides that, it's also stored in fat. So all these toxins are stored in these fat cells. And our body goes in kind of a self-preservation mode because it doesn't want to release these toxins back into our bloodstream where it can go to more vital organs like our brain. So it just holds on to fat. So by detoxing, this will help with the ability to lose weight. Now, to detoxify, the most important thing here is to reduce exposure. And then it's to reduce exposure, and then to reduce exposure, and then to enhance elimination. And of course, in case you didn't get that, reducing exposure is by far the most important thing to do when we're trying to detoxify. Now, the last thing here is the underlying cause is inflammation. Now, inflammation, this is where I'm talking about the chronic inflammation. And you guys have probably felt, acute inflammation. If you stub your toe or if you hit it with a hammer, your toe is going to be painful. It's going to be red, warm, swollen. It's not going to work as well. That's an acute inflammatory reaction. But I'm talking about a kind of a chronic, smoldering fire going on the inside. And this is what wreaks havoc throughout our bodies. And what happens here, this causes a vicious cycle of inflammation to weight gain, because with inflammation, you get the release of inflammatory cytokines, and these inflammatory cytokines and eicosanoids, they go and they increase weight. But what happens when weight increases, we get increased fat cells, and these fat cells are not just these benign masses. These fat cells also are producing inflammatory cytokines and hormones, and so it produces more inflammation, which produces more weight gain, which produces more inflammation, and it becomes this vicious cycle. And in order to, again, if we're going to start losing weight, we have to disrupt this cycle. Otherwise, again, it's going to be pretty much all in vain. So now here's the part here where I want to see if we can figure out which underlying root causes could be part of your problem. So this is where I want you to get your pen and paper out, and we'll go through a couple quizzes, and we'll figure out which specific issues are going on for you. So let's assess your individual root causes, and these are the four, again, individual root causes: the food sensitivities, insulin resistance, toxins, and inflammation. And what I want you to do when we're reading these questions, don't start yet, but I want you to make a little tally on your paper. And just read the question. If you say yes, make a little tally, and then go on to the next. Don't think a lot about it. Just say, okay, yep, that's yes, 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 no, yes, yes, no. Just go through each of these questions, and then we'll get a final score at the end here. So first one is for food sensitivities, and I'll just give you a minute to go through each of these questions. Again, just make a tally on your paper for which ones you say yes to. All right, the next one here is insulin resistance. Again, same thing. Just read through each question and make a little tally to see if this could be part of your problem. And then toxins. And the last thing here is inflammation. Huh? Okay. All right. So let's do this. This is going to be the interactive part, and let's put all of our scores into the poll, and I want to see kind of what everyone's score was. So here are the three options. First one is less than 5. Second option is 5 to 10, and then the last option is greater than 10. And I can't even see the poll here because I got my full screen up, but maybe we'll get some good numbers in here. Let's see who has the highest score. Did you put the poll up, Em? All right, so 40% greater than 10. All right, so that is a pretty high percentage of people that likely have at least some combination of these issues that have not necessarily been addressed yet. Because again, if your score is greater than 10, then something is going on. Like I said, you shouldn't have all those symptoms for no particular reason. So so I'm glad you did, and hopefully that was somewhat enlightening for you. So now I'm going to turn this over to my beautiful wife Emily and let her go through some useful tips to help you deal with each of these particular issues.
Hi guys, thanks again for sticking with us tonight. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is inflammation, and so this is where we get into the practical part. So okay, I'm having some issues with some of this. What in the world am I supposed to do about it? So with inflammation, we suggest that you consider supplementing with an anti-inflammatory supplement like muscadine grapeseed extract, which is our favorite anti-inflammatory supplement. You can also consider things like curcumin or turmeric and fish oil. Both of those or all three of those are also powerful anti-inflammatories. Also, you want to make sure that you stay very hydrated to help with inflammation. And a good place to start is to take your body weight, divide that in half, and you should be drinking that many ounces of water per day at an absolute minimum. So anything greater than that is ideal. Some people need much more than that, but you definitely don't want to go any lower than that. Next, talking about food sensitivities, and this is where people start to get uncomfortable because people, when we start talking about letting go of wheat and dairy, guys start to get really angry at me sometimes, unfortunately. But it can be done, and I've seen it happen hundreds of times. So consider eliminating the two most common food sensitivities, wheat, gluten, and dairy. And a couple of practical ways to do this. Instead of eating a sandwich for lunch, make sure that you eat a salad with some good complex carbohydrates like some brown rice instead. Another idea here is to replace your normal milk or yogurt with a substitute like coconut or almond milk rather than the dairy component. For insulin resistance, choose healthier starches throughout the day and have a high protein, high fiber dinner. So some ideas here: instead of cereal for breakfast, eat eggs, lots of protein, and some high fiber starches, or a plant-based high quality protein shake is another great option. Something else to consider is completely eliminating starch at the dinner meal, because as our bodies prepare for our overnight fast, they don't need that extra surge of insulin from the carbohydrates. And as our activity levels are starting to dwindle as the day goes on, and you come home and eat dinner and then might relax for a little bit and go to bed, you don't need those starches, and that the body is much more likely to store those as fat, and to that also encourages an insulin surge in the evening when we really don't need it. Toxins. Avoid processed foods and GMOs. So my tip here is all those little pink, blue, and yellow packets of sweeteners that we see everywhere we go out to eat and at the grocery store. Stay away from those. And also, you need to read your labels. Almost all of the sugar-free products or low-sugar products that are out on the market today are sweetened with sucralose, which is the generic for Splenda. And as Dr. Wiggy talked about earlier, we look at that as a toxin. Additionally, try to purchase as many organic produce products as are possible for your budget. And something really good to take a look at is the Dirty Dozen. You can just Google that when you get a chance. Those are the foods that you want to make sure that you're buying organic. Those are the ones that are top priority. And also eliminating genetically modified foods as much as you're able from your diet. So I'm sure you're sitting there saying, oh, that's wonderful, and it's great to learn all this stuff, but how in the world am I supposed to implement it? If only there was a program that would teach you how to incorporate these changes into your lifestyle, right? This is exactly why Dr. Wiggy and I developed the Trim Body Transformation. The Trim Body Transformation is a cutting-edge 12-week program that uses NP Pro and addresses the underlying causes of weight loss resistance from both a science perspective and a practical standpoint.
And so I'll just go through briefly here. What is NP Pro? This may be a new term for some of you guys, but this is a product that we've been working on with Nature's Pearl really for probably the last year almost, and we really spent a lot of time trying to perfect this and come up with the highest quality product available. But what it is, and I don't think this is a stretch to say this, but I really believe that this is the healthiest, the best tasting plant-based protein powder that's available. And I know that's a bold statement, but you know, like I said, I don't settle for anything less than the best, and I really think that we've come up with one of the top-notch protein powders available. I'll just briefly go through some of the benefits here, but the benefits include that it's dairy-free and soy-free, and like I was saying before, the number 2 and number 3 food sensitivities are dairy and soy. And if you look at most of the protein powders that are out there, I'd say probably 80 to 90% are dairy-based. They're either based off of whey or they're based off of casein. And then the rest of the plant-based ones are almost all based around soy. But what we decided to do is use the hypoallergenic green pea as the base for our protein powder. But don't worry, it doesn't taste like green peas. It tastes fantastic. And then it's high in protein and low in carbs. Again, this is important, especially when we're trying to deal with that insulin resistance that I was talking about. And remember that scale with increasing protein and decreasing carbohydrates? So you want a protein powder that's high in protein and low in carb. Like ours is 16 grams of protein and only 4 grams of sugar. And again, that's kind of the balance you want to be looking for. Because a lot of the other, especially plant-based protein powders, they load them up full of either sugar or some of the artificial sweeteners in order to cover up the taste. So yes, you might have a decent amount of protein, but you also probably have more carbohydrates in that protein powder. Again, and then there's no artificial sweeteners. We didn't want to do anything to cause our body to start with that toxin, build up that toxic load. So what we did was use a little bit of sugar and a little bit of stevia to give it that sweetness. Then of course no GMOs, and Emily already touched on this about how important it is to get rid of these things. But I really feel like genetically modified foods are, a scourge to just our health, because all these foods are sprayed with the glyphosate. All of them are sprayed with Roundup before they're harvested. And again, and I really think of that as kind of being a toxin. And there's been so many studies, and there are more and more studies coming out about how bad those are for your health. And then besides that, it's not only all those things, but it's also enhanced with the muscadine grape seed and skin, which I really have done a lot of research on, and this is a very potent superfruit. And you guys, some of you might be familiar with the muscadine grape, some of you might not, but this is actually the state fruit of North Carolina. And at first I just came across them because I like the way they taste, but when I learned more about them is just how powerful that these little fruits are. And what I've come to figure out is that these things really are the king of the superfruits, and I don't think there's really going to be anything else there that can really match this. because what's so unique about the muscadine grape is that it has all of the phytonutrients of the berries, including the strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. It has all the phytonutrients of those, plus all the phytonutrients of the grapes. So it is a power-packed superfruit, which it really has some tremendous impact or effects on a lot of things, but especially on inflammation. And there's been a lot of studies on this fruit, and what they see is that it basically shuts down inflammation. And again, if you remember back that circle with inflammation and weight gain, the vicious cycle, what this does, it shuts down that cycle. So here's a graph of muscadine extract on IL-6, which is an inflammatory cytokine, and you can see as the increase in muscadine concentration goes up, IL-6 basically is shut down, almost down to zero. Same thing can be seen with PGE2, which is another one of those inflammatory markers. Again, the increase in muscadine concentration basically shuts down this inflammatory response. And what we're trying to, again, just to hammer this home, is that what we're trying to do with NP Pro, and what we're trying to do with the Trim Body Transformation, is that we're trying to get the world out of this calories in, calories out mindset, because what happens with that mindset is that, yes, you might lose some weight, but then you're going to gain it back, and then you get into this yo-yo pattern, and that is the worst thing you can do for your health. What you want to do is do something that's for a lifestyle, and that you can keep up, and that's sustainable. And what you're going to need to do, again, you need to start addressing these underlying root causes.
So, talking a little bit about the Trim Body Transformation and exactly what this is all about, you'll see on your screen kind of the 3 phases of the 12 weeks broken down, and each phase is 4 weeks long. Phase 1 is the kickstart, and this is where we really embrace the ground rules and start to eliminate some of these foods that we've talked about, and increase the foods that we want to make sure we're giving our bodies plenty of. We also begin doing some very gentle walking and then some body weight exercise during this time period. Phase 2 we call change gears, and this is when we begin to make adjustments based on the feedback that our bodies are giving us after the first 4 weeks. So if there's any unbalance with hunger, energy, or cravings, if you're getting great results or if you're not, we have some very systematic steps to take to address anything that your body might be doing that is outside of the guidelines, or if things are going great, to continue. In phase 3, we approach this as a lifestyle. So we begin to teach you how to make this program work for you forever. So we realize that life happens and schedules happen and things happen, and eating absolutely perfectly for the rest of your life is not realistic. And if we take that approach, it's just going to be another diet that's going to end, and you're probably going to end up larger than you were when you started. That's the absolute last thing that we want. So the whole purpose of the program is to help you to learn and understand why these behaviors and eating habits are important, and then to make them last forever. Here you'll see our nutrition ground rules, and just to touch on a couple of these, we do implement the shakes 2 times per day. We eat 5 times per day. We eliminate the major food allergens. We encourage as many non-starchy vegetables as possible. We eat protein with every single meal and snack. We get rid of processed food and simple sugars and artificial sweeteners. We limit starches after lunch. We drink lots of water, and we eliminate alcohol for this time period. Here's a sample of the daily meal planner, and we won't go into a lot of this here, but it breaks down every little bit, as it breaks down each meal and snack as far as what macronutrients those meals should be comprised of, and also gives you an option to have the shake at each and every meal and snack. You have the flexibility to choose whichever 2 times per day that works best for your schedule. Here's a sample of our food chart. It tells you exactly the portion sizes and foods to both eat plenty of and also those to avoid. And all of this information is available on a free app that Nature's Pearl has provided that can be found on any smartphone at np-pro.com. You can download it for free and have access to those charts that we just showed you. Also, you can track your progress in the app. You'll have access to weekly tips, the workout videos, and much more. So make sure that you go ahead and download that so you have that in your back pocket at all times. And just to show you that this works, because I can tell you all day long how it works, but fortunately we have a whole bunch of testimonials from people of all ages and of all fitness levels, from people who were already really exercising and already fit that incorporate this into their lifestyle, to those who were almost bedridden and not able to do anything and have been able to have great success with NP Pro. We have people in their 80s using the product, and we have teenagers who have had equal success. And while we're talking through this, as you'll see, I'm just going to go through these testimonials. This isn't all about weight loss. While NP Pro and the Trim Body Transformation are fantastic for weight loss, that's not the only thing that happens. You'll see here, people are having so much more energy, lots of relief of pain, their skin looking better, feeling younger than they did 10 years ago, more energy, being able to sleep better. Fantastic results that are just general life improvement. And we could not be more excited about the ways that this product and this program are helping people to feel better and to really improve their health. So you might be asking yourself, how can I really get these types of results? Is this really for me? How in the world do I eliminate wheat and dairy? I love bread and I love milk. How do I eliminate processed foods? My schedule is crazy and I have to do grab and go options all the time. I just don't see how I can possibly do this. And how do I make these changes without going crazy, because I don't have people around me that live this type of lifestyle, so how am I supposed to make it work? We have your answer this evening. Tonight, you have an exclusive 24-hour opportunity to be led by a Trim Body Transformation coach through the 12-week program. What does this include? It includes a private Facebook group, and this is only for people who take advantage of the offer this evening for the next 24 hours that we are about to reveal to you. This is a private Facebook group where you will have the accountability, the support that you need through a coach, weekly emails addressing specific goals and behaviors. So we're going to take these 12 weeks and we're going to break it out week by week into specific behavior changes to focus on that particular week as a group, so that everyone is working on the same things at the same time. You're going to have a recipe every week that's Trim Body approved, and I'm sure in that closed Facebook page there will be plenty of recipe sharing. And the accountability of all of these people going through this program together, because that is really what it's all about. When you have the accountability and the support of a coach who's an expert in these things, then also the support of your fellow participants, that is where the magic really happens. So without further ado, I would like to introduce your Trim Body Transformation coach who is joining us this evening. Her name is Debbie Wilkins. She's a wonderful friend of mine. She also happens to be my partner in Mom Sanity and the Mom Sanity Sisterhood. She is a certified metabolic effect personal trainer, where we focus on hormones and the hormonal response to both food and exercise. She coaches hundreds of women on a weekly basis through boot camps and through nutrition plans, through the Mom Sanity Sisterhood, probably thousands actually. And she was most recently awarded Triad Moms on Maine's Mompreneur of the Year for 2014. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you your Trim Body Transformation coach, Debbie Wilkins. Debbie,
Hi,
are you there?
everybody. Hello. I don't know if you can see me or not, but I am super excited about doing this Trim Body Transformation with everybody, that I know that you're going to have such success, and we're along this journey together and taking it in bite-sized pieces so that you are not going to do yo-yos anymore. You're going to see results and feel very level and energized. It's going to be a really great 12 weeks.
Fantastic. Debbie, do you want to tell some of our people here online about kind of your own transformation?
Yes, it's always funny. I grew up not eating very healthy. We did eat lots of chicken. We used to call it milky white chicken because my mom didn't really season our food so well, but that's okay. Um, so I grew up really loving Oreos and Lucky Charms. We had our own special Tupperwares growing up for my siblings and I to just devour lots of treats. And so I grew up with an emotional relationship with food, but didn't realize it until my metabolism stopped cooperating and all of the seams in my pants wanted to pop. So I talked to Emily because I knew that she had a wonderful physique and was very in shape and loved being active, and told her I was on a 1,500 calorie diet. I was on like day 2, okay? So I was very grouchy and still managing to get my sweet cereal at the end of the night to reward myself for being so good all day. And I told Emily that I was doing this. I was so proud of myself because I was having breakfast. I was eating shredded wheat cereal. And I talked to Emily, and she said, you're going to stop counting calories. You're going to not eat lots of sugar and starch for your diet. You're going to put some green in there. And she set me up with some fat-burning workouts. And it made me cry, honestly, like tears as I was finding out that my life was going to have to change. But I was at that point of desperation and said, something has to give. It's not working anymore. I'm needing anything. I'll take her advice because she looks really healthy. And I started doing the workouts. I totally changed the way I ate, high protein, high veggie, and then some complex carbs mixed in, and just started feeling really level instead of that up and down where you're crashing and then you're up and then you're down and you have headaches all of the time and having to nap every single day. So things really smoothed out a lot. And I am a work in progress. I still crave Krispy Kreme donuts, okay? I am not perfect. But it's been quite a journey that I've been on, and the key is that it is maintainable as a lifestyle, that it can be done. I have 4 little boys, and I feel very busy and very overwhelmed, but everything, again, is bite-sized pieces, and we're going to do this together so that you can be successful.
Thank you so much, Debbie. That was a great introduction. And let me tell you, you guys are in for a real treat. Not only does she know her stuff, she's a pleasure to work with and has a super fun personality. And I just could go on for days about Debbie and how great she is. So moving along, because I know that you're all excited about having the opportunity to work with Debbie over the next 12 weeks. Let's talk a little bit more about how this is going to work. So you want to start fixing the reasons that you can't lose weight and really commit and make this happen. The only thing that you need to get started is the 12-week Trim Body Transformation Kit. And this is our webinar-only special that is going to start right now, and it's going to end tomorrow, Tuesday at midnight. Again, excuse me, 11:59, not midnight. Let me go through the value of the Trim Body Transformation Pack, because I was actually completely shocked in a great way when Nature's Pearl told us exactly what they were the deal that they were going to offer you guys this evening. So let's go through this. What you're going to get, 12 canisters of NP Pro with a retail value of $375. 3 Muscadine Grapeseed capsule bottles, a value of $101. A blender bottle, which is $6. 12 weeks of coaching from Coach Debbie, valued at $300, for a grand total of $782. But tonight, we are so excited to offer this package to you for a webinar-only special of $359. That is a huge savings, and whether you are a first-time customer of Nature's Pearl, up to a distributor or executive at Nature's Pearl, this is still a wonderful deal. So we hope that you will join us in the Trim Body Transformation along with Coach Debbie as we walk you through these 12 weeks with this amazing product that has worked so well for so many so far. And we just know that this hands-on training is just going to make a huge difference as we put all the pieces together to give you a solution. So as people are starting to join, which we're seeing right now, we will open it up for some questions. So if you've got questions you would like to ask, go ahead and you can put those in the chat box. Anybody have any questions?
I see that Monica is asking about the maltodextrin being a chemical or not.
Okay, sure. Do you want to address that, Dr. Wiki?
I'm sure. That's something that we hear. People asking about the maltodextrin, and really all that is fiber. So that's what we put that in there. That increases the fiber content. So no, I do not consider that to be a chemical, and it's not one of the GMO maltodextrin either.
Someone had asked if you can still take a multivitamin with the protein powder. Absolutely. High quality multivitamin is a great thing to take. This is a great question. If you're already using NP Pro and have kind of been doing the 12-week transformation on your own, then absolutely we would highly recommend that you participate in this program so that you can really get the full benefits of the trim body transformation. And you should see on the right-hand side of your screen a button that you can push to go to the special page that Nature's Pearl has set up. This question for Rachel: if you have an injury that you can't do, that you're not able to exercise, that is completely fine. We have had, on our trial, I would say 30% of the people were unable to exercise for various different reasons, and some of them actually were in our top 5 for fat loss. So this is a great program regardless of your fitness level and your ability to exercise. It's still going to really optimize your health, and actually we saw some of those people begin to be able to exercise or at least walk on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I saw a question about, is this safe for kids? And absolutely it is. Again, we made this as natural as we possibly can, and that's also why we didn't include any of the artificial sweeteners or other things that I think probably would not be best for kids to have. So yeah, we actually give this to our son. He's 15 months old, and I think it's helping him grow big and strong. But yeah, I think there's not really any sort of age limit for this. It should be good for everybody.
After the 12 weeks, where do you go is a question here. And we really work to arm you with what you need after the 12 weeks so that you really can adopt this as a lifestyle and really go out in the world and do it on your own. That said, while Coach Debbie will stop her regular coaching after the 12-week period, if we're finding that people in the group are still wanting to support each other and continue, then we can keep that group going for as long as we wish.
And just to give you a little bit of just logistical details here, so if you do decide to join us in this month's transformation, you'll be emailed all the details with the stuff that you need. So people are having questions about the Facebook page. We'll give you details how to get to that. About all the things that are necessary in order to get you started. So don't worry, we'll make sure that all of your answers or all of your questions get taken care of.
And let's see here. Somebody asked, when does the 12 weeks begin? Again, that will be emailed, but it's going to begin a week from today. So that's why one of the reasons why this is ending tomorrow night at midnight. We need to have time for your product to be shipped to you, so that you're ready to go. But in the meantime, you're going to be receiving emails with some materials to look through to get started.
Yeah, there's some questions about where do I get the link? If you don't see the link on your right-hand side, then it's going to be in the pop-ins tab up in the top. So we might be in the chat tab right now. You'll just need to go over a couple to the pop-ins tab, and that's where you'll be able to purchase the Trim Body Transformation Kit, and it'll take you to that specific page.
So right now you should be able to see the pop-in, and you should be able to click on that link. And I'm going to jump back over to the polls.
Here we go.
To the chat here. Someone asked what to expect for those who need to lose over 50 pounds. We do not recommend for anyone to lose 100 pounds in 12 weeks. That is not sustainable. There's a couple of different ways that we can approach this. You can do the program multiple times, or again, we're hoping to give you the tools that you need over the course of the 12 weeks so that you can really learn how to make this a lifestyle. And the other thing you'll find is within the Nature's Pearl community, there is so much support around this product and the transformation, and people that are going through it and have gone through it and are having great results. You will find that it's really a fantastic community all along.
Doug's asking if you need before and after pics. Yeah, Doug. We'll need your before, and then we'll need your slim one afterwards. So we're expecting to see that and see the amazing results. But no, it's not necessary.
There were a couple questions about people that already have the product and are asking for the coaching. That is not an option with this. This is just the webinar special. So in order to have the coaching and to be entered into the closed Facebook page and to get the weekly emails, you will need to take advantage of the 12-week Trim Body Transformation Kit special this evening or before midnight tomorrow night, which will give you the full 12 weeks worth of product. You'll be ready to go and not have to reorder until the 12 weeks are over.
I think some people are having trouble seeing the link, and I am having trouble too. If you go to the pop-ins tab, if you can, you may need to minimize some of the sidebars. I can only see on my computer the picture of the Nature's Pearl canister, and I can almost see underneath the text with the price, but I'm not able to scroll down, but probably because I'm technologically limited. But I have minimized some of the sidebars, so you may have to kind of finagle with your computer for the purchase part.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie.
We're looking at that right now.
Attach a sidebar, see if that does anything. Attach sidebar.
Are you guys seeing it better now?
Showing up fine on our end.
Yeah, that's strange.
It is probably just my computer and my skills.
Well, just so you guys know, after the webinar is over, you're going to get several emails with the link as well. And actually, what is this?
Yeah, if you want to just plug it, if you want to just type in the link, it's npprowebinar.com. So it's npprowebinar.com, and that will take you to the sales link there if you want to get started from that way.
And I will type that in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's good. And let's make a sticky post. No dash.
Someone is asking if this program is only for weight loss, and absolutely not. We've had lots of people have great success on the program that were not using it to lose weight. Quite frankly, I'm not trying to lose weight, nor is Dr. Wiggy. And we use this product 2 times a day as well because of the excellent nutrition that it offers. And when we get into the Trim Body Transformation and about how to approach, how to make this work for you and your lifestyle, that's where we really get into that individual approach. But at the beginning, during the first 4 weeks, we do really just try to get everyone off of food sensitivities and that sort of thing. But if you're asking if taking the protein powder is just going to make you lose a bunch of weight, it's not. That is not the purpose of it at all. It's a really great nutritional supplement regardless. And I think we mentioned this already, but there will be a link mailed to everyone who registered for the webinar that will give the page as well. So anyone that wants to take advantage through tomorrow at midnight will have the opportunity to do so through that link. Someone asked if this is safe for pregnancy. Absolutely. It's also safe for children. We give it to our 15-month-old son on a daily basis, and I know many other people who do the same. Coach Debbie, I know, gives it to her 4 kids on a daily basis as well. It's great for children as well. You guys are great, asking fantastic questions tonight.
And someone had asked the flavors of the protein powder. There's chocolate and vanilla, and both are really tasty and have kind of a creamy taste. They're very tasty.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes, and the pack includes 8 vanilla and 4 chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or any comments? You guys are welcome to make comments. For those of you that have used the powder and or have taken advantage of the Trim Body Transformation during the trial and how it worked for you, you're welcome to post comments for others to see as well. We'd love to hear from you, actually. Someone asked if you're using the shakes 2 times a day, are the supplements still necessary? Each scoop of the NP Pro has the equivalent of 2 capsules of the muscadine seed. And we recommend that most people continue to take the 2 capsules per day for optimum, health and really addressing those inflammation issues. I'm a huge fan of taking the capsules, as is Dr. Wiggy. I think everyone kind of has their point in that. Some people need to take much more than that even. Some people take up to 6 or more capsules per day. Someone asked about a couple of people asked about the 12-week coaching again. So again, that is part of the pack that is only available tonight. So you have to sign up before tomorrow at midnight in order to have access to the coaching, and you have to do so by purchasing the Trim Body Transformation Kit. And when you do so, you're going to get an email after the special is over tomorrow night, probably on Wednesday morning, with the materials. We've got a nice booklet that will be emailed to you. It's a PDF with the whole transformation and everything that you need. And they will also begin to add people to that closed Facebook page and start our email list so that you can get your weekly emails. And Coach Debbie is going to be there every day to offer. We're going to kind of, like she said, we're going to break this down into bite-sized pieces so that each day you'll have something new to kind of dig into, but it's not going to be a huge change on a daily or weekly basis, so that over the course of the 12 weeks we're making really big changes, but one thing at a time, which is the only way that this works. The coaches, the pack is not customizable from a flavor standpoint. So to get this pack and to have access to the coaching, you do have to purchase it exactly how it is, the 8 vanilla and 4 chocolate. Thank you, some of our participants who have taken advantage of the Trim Body Transformation in the past. Follow the program and it works better than anything out there. My wife and I were able to lose our stubborn belly fat and reach our goal weights. This is now our lifestyle and we have been so blessed by it. Thank you, Noel, for your comments. And Priscilla, who is a dear friend of ours too, who we've met through Nature's Pearl, she says this is the easiest and best program I've ever done. Believe me, I have done them all. In 12 weeks of the trial, I lost 50 pounds. Get it? She's pretty blunt, isn't she? And when you are making your purchase, there's a place on there to find out where you found out about the webinar and also who referred you this evening. So if you were referred by a Nature's Pearl distributor, you want to make sure you put their name in there. If you only found out about it online, you're welcome to leave that blank as well. It's not required, but if you were referred to the webinar by someone, please do make sure that you put their name in there when you're making your purchase so that they can get credit for referring you to the webinar.
And also, if you wanted to try the protein powder, if you knew a distributor, they probably have access to that, which will give you a sample before you want to do the whole kit. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for coming.
Someone mentioned having an allergy to eggs. There is no requirement to have any egg product on the transformation. So, you know, we work with a lot of people that have egg allergies, which can be really difficult. And the NP Pro is a great source of protein, especially during the breakfast time when people are like, what am I supposed to eat if I can't have eggs and cereal? The NP Pro and the shake is a fantastic option for that. And you know, you can really do lots of versatile things, baking with it, making it into pudding, all kinds of things. John is on the call. He said the program is awesome. I've lost 37 pounds and still going. It's now a lifestyle. Get it. And several people are making notes about or noting that if you really love chocolate more than vanilla, you can always add cocoa powder to the vanilla to get a more chocolatey flavor. And if you really, really love chocolate, you can even add extra cocoa powder to the chocolate powder. So these are very customizable to make them taste the way that you want to. And I think that you'll be very, very pleased with the taste and the texture. We've had fantastic results and fantastic feedback from many users.
And I just wanted to emphasize just the importance of the coaching through this, because I see patients in the clinic every day, and I'm telling them to try and go through a program like this and change their diet. But what happens is they might try and do it for a week or so, but then they can't stick to it because, again, it's not sustainable and they don't have the tools and the support and the accountability to help keep this going. So the coaching is a critical component to any sort of lifestyle change that you're doing. And it really is a testament to Nature's Pearl for funding this, to be able to have a coach walk you through it, hold your hand, make the changes, be there, answer your questions, and there's so many important values that there is to having a coach through this program that in itself is worth the cost of the kit.
So many fantastic questions tonight. It's so fun to see the group so incredibly engaged. Any other questions that we can answer as we're wrapping up this evening?
Hey, Grand.
Well, remember, you're going to get an email here in the next hour or so with the links and instructions that you need to take advantage of the offer through tomorrow night. This can be shared with anyone, so even those that weren't able to participate in the webinar. And you will also be receiving a recording of the webinar in that email as well, so you can come back and listen, or you're welcome to share it as well if you choose to do so. So Debbie is super excited to get started. We're really excited to get this program up and running and have so many of you participate with us. So we will look forward to talking with you in the near future and get you all of the details that you need to get started. And that should be coming to you on Wednesday. So thank you all so much for participating with us this evening, and we'll stick around for a couple more minutes with these last few questions trickling in. I want to make sure to answer everyone's questions. But if you've gotten your questions answered, I hope that you have a great evening, and thank you again for joining us.
Hey, Carolyn, about the A1C, no, it's not necessary, but you might want to work with your doctor just to know what your baseline is anyway. And it would be cool to see how it improves after you do the program.
Someone asked, is there a set time that Debbie will be available for coaching? Just like the world of social media works, you will have the opportunity to go on and ask questions and comment on other people's posts and questions and recipes at any time. And Coach Debbie will be checking in at least 2 times throughout the day to update and answer questions and that kind of thing. She won't be accessible 24/7 by any means, but she will be on the page on a daily basis to answer your questions. I will be on there as well. This is our first time doing this, so we're working together. We'll both be on there to make sure everything gets answered and to help guide you in your journey. Now that said, coaches are not, we are coaches. That doesn't mean that we can do this for you. So this definitely, you need to have that initiative to get ready, to get started, to be ready and open-minded to making changes that might not feel really comfortable at first, but that's why we're there, so that we can all do it together and really make these lifestyle changes so that you're ready for the long run. So many thank yous. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It was such a great time having such a big crowd. I see lots of people making purchases, sending us private messages, and also posting in the chat here. So we're really excited. It sounds like this is going to be a phenomenal group to work with. Debbie, you are one lucky gal.
I know. I cannot wait. I wish it was next Monday already.
Okay. If there's any last minute questions, go ahead and ask them. We're going to sign off here in the next 2 minutes. Vicki asked, are all the necessary materials in a PDF document? Yes, and that is going to be emailed to you later in the week. So anyone that purchases the pack tonight will be added to the email list, and that's going to go out in our initial email. You will have a PDF attachment with all of the materials for the 12 weeks. All right, thank you all again for joining us this evening. I think we've wrapped everything up. We are so excited, and we will see you in our Trim Body Transformation May 2014 group later in the week. So have a great night, everyone, and we will talk again very soon.
Good night.
Good night.